Hi, Faded Angelos here, coming at you with a Season 2 Torchlight Infinite guide for Moto. This build so far has been able to crush all content with at time mark 7. I'm still working on getting it to transition to time mark 8. That is a pretty big difference in uh, survivability that you need as well as DPS, so it's a difficulty ramp. So let me go ahead and go over my skills and everything and give you a complete walkthrough of how I'm doing this. So we'll go ahead and start with the talents. So we're going to start off with starting with God of Machines. And as you can see, there has been quite a bit of changes to the trait system for at least the minion specs. So you used to have 3 rows here, you just have the one, and that is going to be for damage. You get 60% damage right here. That's what you're going to start off with. And then the attack speed nodes, then critical strike. Then you're going to jump down here and get the 30 intelligence and strength, and then pick up this. This will help you keep scaling your damage as long as you're paying attention to gear that has intelligence and strength. And then you're going to run over here and grab the damage first to get all minion skill levels, and that should put you at 20. Once you're at 20, you're going to put in orders and then Mighty Guard. Those will give you just an overall quality of life and damage boost to all your minions. You will revisit this skill tree to pick up life regeneration, and both these notes for life regeneration and energy charge speed, energy shield charge speed, and additional energy shield charge interval. You won't do this immediately. You'll do this after you've gotten both of the massive trait perks for all 3 of your trees. That will help transition you from using compound potion into just switching that over to a manual curse cast, which will be a big damage boost for you. You don't want to use curse on hit or anything that puts you near the boss, and you want to avoid being near the boss. Granted, you will have to leap slam once or twice on the boss just to make sure that your minions are completely targeting, but generally they do a pretty good job of targeting the boss on their own. So the next one we're going to do, I went with Alchemist because I love having free spirits. You can give them all sorts of buffs to help with survivability as well as damage. All the debuffs that they apply are really nice. So you're going to grab the minion damage node at the very top, then minion attack and cast speed, grab a minion life here, as well as your max life. That's always nice. Then you're going to grab the crit rating. You're going to grab the minion elemental resistance, give them more survivability. And since this build is running spider tanks, you can grab the minion projectile speed. That will help with DPS. And then if you're still not high enough to start with these, you're going to go back over here and pick up the life regeneration, and that should allow you to go ahead and grab these. This will be a great defensive layer for you because since your minions will be invincible during overload, it's going to be amazing to have 8% of your damage automatically every time you get hit transferred to a random minion. So it really won't matter. All your minions will be affected by overload and they won't die. So that's just a free 8% damage reduction. And then pick up all of these Spirit Magus nodes because you will be able to benefit more from your spirit. And then if that has put you at 36, which I don't think you will be yet, then you'll go ahead and grab life regeneration speed. And I think that should put you at 36. You will revisit to grab the bonus armor and barrier absorption. So that will be, you want to be prioritizing armor gear to go ahead and stack armor to benefit the most out of this. So you can grab some energy shield because we will grab some max energy shield nodes too, but you'll just definitely want to make sure you're stacking armor. The physical damage reduction on top of being elemental resistance cap will be amazing for you. And then the last one we're going to go, first the massive perks that you grab. You're going to grab the 100% sealed mana. That means that the spirit is free, so you don't have to worry about that. And then Battle Trumpet, because they'll get another additional 25% minion attack and cast speed, which will be amazing for your spider tanks. Sorry. Okay, so moving on to my last choice, which was Warlock. You're not going to grab the top one for damage or the bottom one for ailment damage, because that will do nothing for your build. So instead, we're just going to grab the one that gives us an actual stat we can use, which is max energy shield. So we're going to grab that. Then we're going to go over to skill duration. This will affect overload, so you want to have this. And then you're going to grab this for sealed mana. This allows you to run more buffs. So you want to grab sealed mana and the max mana. And then you will go straight over to defensive effect and defensive skill level. This will give our auto defense that we'll be running to help upkeep overload passively more effectiveness. And then we're going to come back here and grab the max life and a life regain. And then we should be able to start grabbing these. Obviously, the damage node doesn't do anything for you. We're mostly doing this for the attack and cast speed for our leap slams, because that's our mobile ability, and all skill levels. So that way we can benefit from just having a +1 to everything. That will be great for your minions. And then you're going to grab energy shield charge speed and energy shield regain. And then interval and regain interval. The max mana, and then 10% minus skill cost, which is really nice. And then 15% elemental resistances. You're not going to worry about that. Like, what's after that? This is just free 15%. Help ease the burden of your gear and what you'll need on it. Now, this one you're going to go with Merciless, because 15% of reductions cast or attack speed and cast speed will also be applied to cooldown, which means that your overload will go off cooldown quicker. And then you're also going to want off the beaten track, which gives you +3 to support skill levels. So all your support gems will, or all your support skills, sorry, PoE on the mind, will go ahead and boost your main skill that they are attached to. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go over skills next. So I am running spider tanks. This is DPS, don't let it fool you. It cannot calculate this because it doesn't take into effect that this has been changed to 100% erosion damage, which I'll show you how that's happening. So you're going to run mechanical modification. With that, that will allow 3 spider tanks for this one as well, and then 3 spider tanks for the other one we are running. They are running passivation since we are 100% erosion damage, so they benefit from the 68% additional erosion damage. Multi-strike for more hits to go off. Increase critical strike damage, because we do have a lot of critical strike chance, so that we'll go ahead and just boost the damage altogether with 175% multiplier. And Bloodthirsty Slaughter. This will give them more attack speed. This will also convert 5% of their missing life as physical damage. This is only 40% effective on minions. However, it's still really big damage boost because they will always be low on life. So they will always be benefiting from this effect. And they will never die because of overload. Okay, and then the next one we're running is Corruption. We're also supporting that with Abysmal Hatred for more curse effect. So Corruption already reduces by 20%. This isn't even max level yet, so this will be way better once it's max level. And then Abysmal Hatred, it is max level +4, so I get 27.5% curse effect increase for it, so that's going to just help with that. And once again, the other spider tank, mechanical modification, passivation, multi-strike, critical strike damage, and Bloodthirsty Slaughter. And then our mobility ability is Leap Attack with quick mobility to make sure we have attack and cast speed quicker for it so we can get around faster, and increase cooldown recovery. It's not going to matter. Doesn't have a cooldown. We are also running Machine Army with Mass Effect. So Machine Army, just to go over in case you don't know, attack speed, cast speed, and movement speed for each stack of the buffs. And then minions gain 1 stack of buff per minion, and up stacks up to 8 times. You will have 8 minions out because you'll have 2 elementals, 6 turrets, so you will get the full 8 stacks for all of this. Uh, that's over 100% attack speed, over 32% bonus movement speed. That will be really nice. And then Mass Effect, it increases the effect. Cooldown recovery speed is minus, and you also get another charge. So this means that it goes off cooldown slower. However, it doesn't matter because with this, as well as your auto defense going off, this will keep your overload up close to 100% of the time, if not at 100. Okay, and then next we're going to go over the spirit I'm using. I'm using the Thunder Spirit. The reason being is this will give us attack and cast speed. There it is. 40% attack and cast speed. So that will benefit from that. We're going to use Elemental Duo just to have 2 more out to make sure we're getting the max effect from Machine Army. And then I'm also supporting them with Mark, so they're marking the enemy to make sure that their evasion is reduced and their critical strike damage taken is increased to help increase our DPS. And I'm also doing a damage reduction layer for blinding. So this will have a chance to blind, so they have a 20% chance to outright miss you with an attack. This actually is pretty helpful. It's not obviously very consistent, but it still gives you a chance to just go ahead and evade damage altogether and not have to worry about it. Okay, then we'll go ahead and go to the buffs I'm running. So I'm running Precise Projectiles, Erosion Enhancement. Precise Projectiles is 27% projectile damage, which we're using spider tanks, so 20% damage. Then we're using projectile speed, and it will benefit from the projectile speed. We just won't benefit from the ailment damage. There is no ailment damage happening, so that's whatever. Then erosion enhancement, we get 37% erosion damage enhancement and additional damage to life. So this actually applies to your minions as well. So this is a really big damage boost compared to running physical auras. This will be a very big damage boost and help you really get your damage ramping. And then I have so much unsealed mana, and I'm not really using the mana all that much due to the skill cost reduction and Leap Slam not really costing anything, as well as this not really costing anything. So I threw on Steadfast here. That's another, right now, 2.5k armor. It can still scale up, so that's just bonus defensive layer. And then this turned off on me. There we go. So you'll be running auto defense. You won't have precise auto defense until you actually either buy it from the trade house or you actually get it as a drop. I got it as a drop. I got lucky. Precise auto defense, if you guys have played PoE, this is basically an awakened auto defense. So it starts off at level 16, but its stats are better than the level 20 normal version. So these are the end game skills you want to actually look for as far as your auras and abilities go. If you're running an aura that has a precise version, you want that version. So you can either buy that from the auction house or do Time Mark 7 bosses. They have a chance of dropping them. So this one is minus 32% duration for the skill and minus 17% defensive effect for connected defensive skills. But, the linked defensive skills effect will no longer be reduced. So that's pretty nice. You're going to run that with protection field. So what the protection field does is 35% of damage taken is transferred to a random minion while the skill lasts. That's 35% damage reduction to you, and since the minions will be invincible, this is just free 35% damage taken you're not taking. So, and then it will automatically make the minions taunt nearby enemies. So this is amazing. So this is definitely something you're going to want to get and set up as soon as possible. And then we want rejuvenation. It's not max level yet. However, once it gets max level, this will help your survivability on top of all the traits we just took to keep you alive and make sure you're not having to worry about swapping out that compound potion. So I highly recommend grabbing a rejuvenation with this. Okay, that's everything here. So let's go over what your inventory should look like as far as gear goes. So me personally, I'm running 2 interlocking souls. The reason being for that is you get so much damage from these, it's really hard to turn them down. Eventually, you're going to want to swap these out for wands that have minion damage on it and +2 to skills. Because you want one that's +2 to all, or +1 to all skills, and then +1 to minion skills that will give you +2 to both. You'll get +4 total by dual wielding wands. You won't be able to use leap slam with that, so you'll have to use a different mobility gem or mobility skill, but that's where that's going to happen. But right now, you can just use 2 interlocking souls. You want to make sure they're at least item level 80 plus, so you can get as much energy out of them as possible to make sure you can run all the skills correctly. Obviously, they're not corrupted. There's nothing special about them. They just give me over 100% minion damage here and over 134% minion damage there. So that's really nice. And then this is how you're going to convert your damage to erosion damage for your minions. So this gives you -8% sealed mana, which is really nice for you to be able to run more auras. This is how you also are able to run all 3 of the spider tanks while still running mechanical modification, because mechanical modification halves the amount of units you can have, and you can have up to 4 just by leveling up the skill. But this gives you +1, and I'm running 2 of them, so that's +2. That brings it up to 6, and half 6 is 3, and you're only allowed 3 of one summon out at a time. So with modification, mechanical modification is max. You're only allowed 6, out at a time. So 3, and then you're running another spider tank, so that's 3. You're at max minions. So this is how that works. Then it adds 16% of physical damage as erosion damage for minions. So that's just more damage right there. And then you also convert 50% of your physical damage, minion damage, to erosion damage. So that's 50%, 50% again here. So that's 100% of the minions' damage being converted to erosion. So, and then I lucked out. I have 2 8% sealed manas, which is the highest roll for these. So you will have 16% sealed mana on top of the about 5% or 6% we grabbed earlier. So that's almost 25% minus sealed mana, which allows you to run that armor aura that we're running. Then for your other slots, for me so far, my next upgrade is going to be my helmet. I'm going to upgrade that to a Fiendish Crown to boost my damage even further. But right now, this helmet does need to be changed, but I just have so many good stats on it, I don't want to swap it out yet. But this gives me 2,700 armor. You want to make sure that you can get minion damage on it, and then erosion resistance as well as elemental resistance on each one of these pieces wherever you can. I am not capped out on resistances, unfortunately, because I swapped out one of my rings. So I'm sitting at 33, 50, 175, 75. So, but I'm still pretty tanky. Pretty nice. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go over my pack spirits, because I did get lucky, and I got a legendary pack spirit. I got the Drapion Lady. So the Drapion Lady increases Servant buff, Servant cooldown, and Servant life. So this is for also another reason why I'm running Alchemist, because this actually gives you more Spirit Magus effect. And then you also get more Spirit Magus effect. So, and then this one's just the Spirit Magus skill cooldown, which we're not going to worry about too much, but then minion life. So that helps with our Leap Slam skill. I was pretty sad, but I ended up swapping this because this would have been full damage nodes. I ended up swapping this to just have this so I can get a bonus right here. So this actually gives attack and cast speed whenever my minions do double damage. So that's really nice. And then you're just gonna run or grab if you have him. If not, having all damage here is really nice. So I wouldn't worry about it if you don't have that spirit skill, because this is just all damage anyways. You might be better off that way. I just got the minion attack and cast speed, and since I got the extra Pax point because this guy was upgraded, I was able to just put more points in. And then I put him over here because he gives servant damage and speed and life. So, and then 9% damage taken right there just for more survivability. So you're just gonna want to put points, prioritize damage for your minions. If you don't have these pack spirits, don't worry about it. I got really lucky and I actually got a duplication of her. I highly recommend, if you're trying to pull for pack spirits using these, go to the anchor action and make sure you are picking summon as the target. So that way you can get her or you can get the machine one. The machine one's better if you're looking for flat damage. I unfortunately didn't get that lucky and I got 2 of her. So I guess you can consider that lucky. But alright, let's go over the hero traits really quick because they added something new with Season 2, and that is these hero specialization relics. So for me, I'm running minion damage and hero memory effect. So this actually is really nice and also helping my damage out a lot. The memories I'm using are for getting a random blessing when they deal minion damage, and there's a 25% effectiveness for it, so it's actually over 50% chance to do this. That's really great. And then you also have 20% minion life, so that's boosted again by the 25%. And then you have then I am running minion damage. So for these, you're going to want to look for, you're going to want to farm these a lot. You will be able to farm these a lot. You're going to want to look for golden or orange attributes here to actually capitalize on this the most. But I didn't get that lucky, so I just went with the minion damage and skill duration, which helps keep the overload up. And then minion damage and minion critical strike rating, again, increased by 25%, so that's just more damage altogether. And then we have to pick this one, Unite as 1, 120% overload effect. Then you're going to get overload duration and the taunt. I tried going all in, but it just felt like this was better because the overload duration helps keep it up. And then veteran, which you're going to have overload up all the time, so they will benefit from this. Then last stand, so this is going to be a damage multiplier for you because they're always going to be low on life, so that's up to 50% damage, additional damage. And then they will lose 60% of their life gaining overload, so this will always keep them low life to get that 50% damage. And they will also get this critical strike rating, the flat critical strike rating, helping them just stay crit maxed. So that's everything there. So let me go ahead and show you the test dummy and the damage there. So let me summon everybody out. And let's smack this here. Okay. So as you can see, it's still ramping up. So basically, it should be about sitting at, because they didn't, yeah, see it, it's still ramping up. So you should be sitting at close to, if not, I was sitting at 55 mil when I tested this earlier. But right now, doesn't seem like it wants to. Yeah, you're going to be sitting at about 40 to 50 mil. I don't know why it's there we go. It kind of spiked back up to 40 mil again. But yeah, you'll be sitting at about 40 to 50 mil. I tested it, I got 55 mil earlier. So let me go ahead and show you what it looks like running through here. So first, we'll go ahead, because I do have a boss waiting. This is a time mark 7 boss. As you can see, I'll let you go ahead and take a look to confirm that. Time mark 7. To do the Thunder Waste Watcher, which I also do have only 50% or, yeah, 51% resistances to, so this can be a little bit dangerous. Go ahead and skip that. This is basically what you're going to do. You're going to lead slam on it, curse it, and then make sure you're focusing on dodging. This is going to be basically your major gameplay this whole time. Make sure you're dodging as much as you can. Make sure overload is staying up. And your turrets will be getting blessings, because, like I said, when they do double damage, they have a chance of getting blessings. So they should be easily getting max blessing without an issue. You want to stay out of the center during that, because yes, that will happen. Having 50% resistance is not a very good idea doing these bosses, but at least this boss. Making sure I'm staying out of the way. As you can see, they're doing a pretty good job, even with me not lead slamming, targeting the boss. So, got Fatal Feast. I don't think I've gotten that gun before, though, so I'll pick that up. As you can see, pretty easy fight. You didn't really have to do much there. And let me go ahead and do a really juiced map so you can see that it's really just, you walk forward, everything gets deleted. So, there we go, 72% there. I'm gonna go ahead and run this. You want to do as much offset as possible to show. There we go. Okay, so here we go, completely juiced out map. So now we just run forward. You're gonna want to make sure overload is up. Like I said, it's a huge damage boost when it is, so everything just melts. You may also have trouble running this build because of how many projectiles will be on your screen. You may experience lag, so just keep that in mind. If that's happening to you, you may want to turn down graphics a little bit. However, if your phone can handle it, this is a really easy build to play on the phone too. So like I said, all you need to do is just stop lead slamming for a second, make sure your overload's up if it's not automatically. Make sure your overload's up. Everything else is boss is getting deleted, done. Like, that's going to be your mapping experience altogether. Like, it's not hard. Might as well. Then you're just going to keep doing the same thing for whenever you're doing the season content. You won't even need to really curse anything unless you're going into the actual, when you filled out this full set. The rarity drop. When you fill out this whole set, all you're going to want to do is curse the Void Witch, and then just run around and let your minions kill it. So yeah, it's a pretty easy build. It's really nice. As you can see, you can do time mark 7 up to time mark 7 easily. Without the rings, you can do up to time mark 7 as well. Just make sure you do have 2 interlocking souls. Um, it will be a lot slower. So you don't expect to speed through it like I did for this on time mark 7 without the rings. Those will be a great boon for you. But thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, please like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. You guys take care, and good hunting.